Get to the morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jodie and Haysey on Nova.
Awkward social encounters.
I'm terrible at them, and I find that the worst things happen in lifts because my husband's always like, you don't have to tell people your life story in lifts and say I'm on holidays from da-da-da and I've got 4 kids and all that. So he's like, just shut up.
Yeah, why do you think that for some reason in a lift you need to fill it with sound?
I don't know.
Why can't we all just stay there in silence for the next 45 seconds?
Exactly right. Anyway, so my compulsion to fill that silence in lifts really took a turn when I was on holidays in the Gold Coast last week, and a couple got into the lift and they had one of those big trolleys that you get from the concierge, and it was filled full of booze.
Yeah.
So they were obviously having a party in their room, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, big night planned, blah, blah, blah. Start chatting with them and they're like, yeah, lady, like whatever. And then for some reason, I don't know why I said it, but I said, oh, well, if there's any of that left over, me pointing to the wine, bring it up to room 2022.
Classic.
Why?
It's classic. You trying to throw some banter out there.
It just sounded like I basically invited them to come up and swing with me. And then because there's still like 6 or 7 floors to go, just hideous, awkward silence for the rest of the lift. Shut your mouth, Jodie.
You don't need to do it. You know I love a good social interaction that goes pear-shaped.
Yes.
I'm awkward at the best of times. I could out-awkward even the most awkward people on the planet, I think.
You can, yeah.
I left the gym the other day, actually, and there was a girl there, and she said, have a good day. And instead of saying, yeah, you too, I said, have a fab time. I'm like, what do you mean? Who has a good time at the gym? And I've never used the word fab in my life. I have a fab time. And then I pranced out of there. I was like, what? I don't even know who I am anymore. And in Port Adelaide the other day, there's a girl there by the name of Eb, and this happens far too often. Yeah. But I had to call it up straight away. Yeah. I hadn't seen her for a while, and she's helped us out a few times with some Nova activations. Yeah. So I get Eb, went over to give her a kiss, and fresh aired her.
What do you mean?
So I didn't actually... I went to kiss her on the cheek, but we didn't make connection on the cheek. So it was like one of those little fake French things, like. So then I called it straight away. I'm like, sorry, I haven't made connection there. Let me go again.
Let me go again.
So very awkward.
Oh, so I had one at the wedding the other night. As you well know, I was introduced to the mother of the bride, and because I feel so warmly towards Josh, I just grabbed her and hugged her. Yeah. And anyway, then the groom's brother was there, and the mother goes, and this is Josh's brother. And so then very awkwardly he went to hug me, and I chucked out my hand because I don't know what the rule is with men. Like, do men feel uncomfortable with women they don't know kissing them or not on the cheek?
Not really, as long as you can see it coming. What we're uncomfortable with is that awkwardness.
Yeah.
We don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Awkward if you go in straight for the lips or you try and kisses on the forehead. That's going to be awkward. But a kiss straight away is fine, particularly in a setting like that. That's quite nice.
And it's always awkward when the footballers come in each and every week and I don't know. I'm like, do I kiss them or do I just give them a hug? What happens?
I'm watching your interaction with Dan Houston.
Oh, no, I know. It's terrible.
And you both are like, what do we do here? What's going on here?
Someone else who says ridiculous things on the regular is producer Zoe. This is like a daily occurrence for you.
It resonates too much. Mum tells me I should write a book with all of my missteps. But I did one earlier in the week, actually, to someone we work with here at Nova in the sales department. I was out buying some lunch and I saw him sneaking off with his bag, and I pulled him up and I went, classic you, leaving early, eh? It's only 2:00. What do you think you'd do? Gave him a bit of stick, and he went, I'm actually on my way to a funeral.
Bang. Yep. That's good, isn't it? And how do you respond then?
I just copped it. I literally looked at him and went, yeah, sorry about that.
But then also, isn't it the most awkward thing when someone says, we're going to a funeral, and you're like, do you say who died?
Condolences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think I said something like, how sad are we? Meaning like, how close were you to this person who's dead? And he said, oh, good, not that sad.
Kind of saved you. You're like, why are you crying?
Abby in the newsroom. Oh, surely to goodness. You're a woman who can't control your feelings.
So I'd had a little wedding mishap on Wednesday. So I was doing my business there, which is time for chat. So I chat to people at weddings and talk to them.
It's great service.
And so you wouldn't remember. So I was speaking to Josh's auntie and uncle, and I had a question, and I said, what is the secret to a long, happy marriage? And he goes, well, obviously it's talking to God. And of course I laughed, thinking, oh, he's mucking around. And then he went into this story about, when I was with blah, blah, blah and this and rah, rah, rah. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, and off the back of that, I said, oh, well, I'm aggressively single. So, maybe I need to find God. And his auntie, bless her, grabbed my arm and went, tonight we'll pray for you. And I stood there just going, oh, Abby, because, I'd laughed thinking he was mucking around being silly.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't, and now they're going to pray for me. And to be honest, I need all the praying I can get.
I know, but the saddest thing about this story is the thoughts and prayers should have gone to Andrew Hayes that night, not you.
He wasn't swinging off the rafters by then, so.
His poor liver the next day. Oh, gosh, had some work to do that night.
Yeah.
Still to this day, though, I reckon the absolute ultimate is producer Zoe in her exchange with Tim Ginniver.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just quickly.
I can't escape
Zoe,
this.
take us through it. Take us through it.
Tim Ginniver, obviously a legendary Port Adelaide footballer. Obviously, I didn't know that. And on my first day at Nova, when I met Timmy, he said, do you like football? And I said, yeah, I'm a Port fan. What about you? Are you into footy?
And bless him.
And bless him, he went, yeah, I am. I'm a Port fan too.
And you know what?
Kept
He
it
would have been grinning the whole time.
And I walked out of the office and everyone looked at me and went, you did not just ask Tim Ginniver if he likes football. Oh.
He should have said you're a Port fan, are you? I don't reckon you are, sweetie.
Yeah.
Otherwise you know exactly who I am.
Let's go to Sam from Albert Park. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Your awkward encounter. Hit us, please. Make us feel better about ourselves.
I was volunteering at an event. There was this charity event. We were raising money for this guy. He'd been having a bit of a rough time. And I was selling raffle tickets, and I thought, I'll just go around, to the people and talk a bit about it and see if they want to buy tickets. And I went up to this one group. I'm like, oh, hey, have you heard about this charity? The cause, and he's like, yeah, actually, I'm the one that we're raising money for. And I was like, oh. He's like, do you know about the cause? And I was like,
Oh, no, Sam.
okay.
Oh, jeez.
It was so awkward.
So how did he handle the situation? Was he, it's okay? Or?
He was okay. He looked a bit shocked, and then he was kind of appreciative that I was helping, but I was just mortified. I was so embarrassed. I was just trying to help.
Sam's just like, hey, have you heard about this poor bloke? He's having the worst time. We
He's
need
like, yeah,
to
no,
help
well,
him.
it is me.
He really needs help. Let's help him. And he's like, yeah, that's me.
Oh, no, Sam.
Oh, my gosh.
Andrew Hayes, this is an intervention on your behaviour. We had a wedding during the week, and
This again.
you just cannot come out with us as a team, right, and behave yourself. So just to get everyone in on the picture, Haysey, at one stage, we were trying to have a nice family photo of us all. We were standing there.
Jokes. I'm just trying to have fun.
And it's
I'm in the
all
moment.
on record on my phone too, because someone
Right.
was like, you know how you do the live photo, so it was practically a video, and it's just you progressively up the back going, you know what this photo needs? It needs a shirtless Andrew. So you just see
My shirt was itchy.
taking off your shirt and coming around in the front, and then Zoe and we've all realised what you've done. We're like, no! Put your shirt back on.
It said it was like a toddler about to get naked at a cafe.
Yeah.
And Mum and Dad's like, no, what are you doing? I think half of it was doing it for shock effect. We've spoken about this before. Maybe Horses by Darryl Braithwaite played. I'm not really sure, but there's always a moment where I'd say the vibe gets a little bit too much for me, and all of a sudden that shirt gets a little bit extra heavy.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be constricted.
Well, I want to go around the room here just to make you see how your behaviour has affected the rest of the family. Abby in the newsroom. What was the other highlight of the night that had you in tears?
So all of a sudden I walk back to the table and boss Josh goes, have a look at this. And I said, what? And he shows me a video of Andrew Hayes getting up on the stage and swinging from the rafters of the room.
So to explain
talk
myself,
us through what went through your head at that point.
well, I can tell you because as soon as we got in there and we hadn't touched a drop of alcohol, I think I said to all of you, I'll be swinging from that. I'll be swinging from that a little bit later on. And I promise it was a joke at the time. But then I finally got the confidence to get a run up, and that was via jumping onto the stage.
I just can't. I don't understand your mentality. When you walk into a venue and you know you're going to be having a few frothies, you start immediately scouting for things to jump on or jump off.
Geez, security guard didn't like it, did he?
Security came straight over. He came straight. I didn't even know he was there. He just appeared like a genie.
Well, I certainly did. As soon as Andrew was on the rafters, I saw this man pacing. He saw you and genuine got a bit of a run up. So that's how you affected me on the night, Haysey, because I had to immediately sober up and apologise on your behalf to the security guard.
We all had to apologise to security and just say he's fine.
Stop you getting kicked out of a wedding.
Sorry, I'm such a fun-loving guy.
And then I laughed so much that I ended up at the doctor's yesterday, and he said, "You now have asthma because you've laughed so hard at this Haysey guy, and now I'm going to give you a puffer to try and help out your poor throat."
Oh, Producer M. Okay, Producer M, you didn't partake in the drinks, so tell us your observations from your very sober eyes.
I was the responsible one. I had to drive home. I am actually a bit scared to say this on the air because HR might be listening. But Jodes, you wanted us to get a nice, cute little group photo, you, me, and Haysey. And Haysey comes up and puts his arm around me to give me a hug. But as he did that, he copped a feel of my breast. And once again, thank God for the live photo so that we could show Haysey afterwards, because you can actually see the moment when he realises, pulls his hand back and goes, "Oh!"
It's all captured, the absolute moment where I think I'm about to get arrested.
But I feel like, Haysey, so it's not just a complete pile-on for you, I would like to use this opportunity to apologise for my behaviour at the Nova Christmas party last year, where there's footage of me on the dance floor smacking your behind.
Oh, yes. There you
It's
go.
a two-way street.
There you go. It all comes back around. And just to give you a bit of information as well, what happened afterwards, I got home and unfortunately, I don't know what it was. I don't know if there's a bit of gastro going around, but the wine that was in my tummy didn't want to stay there.
Yeah.
So it eventually came out of my system and onto the floor next to my bed.
Yes.
And my beautiful wife, Cara, heard that and then came over and then literally was like, "Are you vomiting?" And for whatever reason, I've got the audacity to look at her and be like, yes. And then the next day, it's the worst. It is the absolute worst. If your parents or your significant other does it. She gave me the "I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed" speech.
No.
And then she said to me, which really, it was like a genuine sword into my soul. She said, "At one stage I was looking at you last night and I thought, I have never been more unattractive to you."
What does she mean? You took your shirt off. You looked great.
Cara, did you not see me doing chin-ups on the rafters? Is that not sexy?
Here's what you're waking up to, Adelaide.
In the news today.
Breaking news.
What's in the news today?
Your post-snooze news.
You wake up, turn on your phone, and there is just an overwhelming amount of information. That's why we break it down to the top stories that you need to know right here, right now. Let's go to Abby in the newsroom. Go for it.
Good morning. So anyone heading along to the Port Adelaide Essendon game at Adelaide Oval tonight, just a reminder that Footy Express trains are not running due to another train strike.
Also, Security.
Sorry, St Kilda. What did she say? I'm still recovering from the wedding as well. So anyway, today the rail union and their employer Kilos Downer are heading back to the boardroom table because they're trying to hash out this pay deal. So essentially workers are saying we want a 20% pay rise over the next 4 years and they're not going to settle for anything less. Kilos Downer are pushing back on that, obviously. A big thing for this, if the deal isn't reached, there's going to be a 24-hour train strike on Thursday. And Thursday is the showdown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's tricky, isn't it?
So we really, really want them to come to some sort of agreement. Otherwise, that 24-hour strike is going to go ahead on Thursday, which will affect, obviously, people getting to and from the showdown.
Of course, according to Abby, the showdown will be played out between Essendon and St Kilda.
Yes.
The interstate showdown. There you go. Watch this space. Hopefully the guys can sort it out.
Newsy.
The golf starts today at the Grange Golf Course, and I did a story on it yesterday for 10 News First, and they have promised it's going to be bigger and better than last year. So they've upped the capacity, so there's more corporate facilities. I think they went from 3 to 6 corporate areas, but also people were complaining last year that there weren't enough elevated spaces to go up and be able to watch, so they've gone from 4 to 14 of those. But it's going to be huge. A crowd of over 100,000 people tipped to go through the gates over 3 days.
Hopefully we can keep it for years and years, like forever. It can just be a permanent fixture on the calendar.
Yeah.
Be amazing.
Last year will be hard to top. Like, that watering hole experience was just incredible with the hole-in-one. It was unbelievable. We were saying before, Tommy Wren was at the bar when it happened, ran out, pegged his drinks, ran back in, got another round. Good on you, Tommy.
There you go.
That's the way.
Yes, the grass certainly got some liquid that day.
Yeah, sure did. Oh, they were saying too also that they're discouraging fans from throwing beer cans onto the thing, so it's just going to be all plastic cups.
Okay.
So they'll decant everything into cups now
There you go. Smart.
to avoid that situation that we had last year.
There you go.
Remember, I was like, oh my God, why is everyone, this is embarrassing. Everyone's throwing all the cups on the green.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Boys like John Rahm, you don't want to throw a full can of beer and hit him in the back of the head, would you? Or Bryson DeChambeau. Oh boy, he'd come after you. Big bad Bryson. Wouldn't he, mate? Turn you into mincemeat.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the football yesterday?
Yeah.
The Anzac Day between Essendon and Collingwood. That might have been the greatest game of football I think I've ever seen.
So I missed the last couple of minutes.
Oh my gosh,
That was when
Jodie.
you needed to be watching.
I was
You
running
guys-
around doing my golf story and I missed the last little bit.
So I finished at 85 apiece and I saw a headline straight away that said, debate set to rage after controversial draw.
Oh.
I don't mind a draw every now and then. If it's a draw like that, where you genuinely look at me like, do you know what? It suits that you split the points because that was such an epic contest.
Yeah.
And then I was watching the coverage yesterday, and straight away after full time, they panned to the crowd, and there was an Essendon and a Collingwood supporter standing next to each other, and they were both like, "Oh, what just happened?" And then they looked at each other and started hugging. Because they were like, "Well, I feel like we both won."
Yeah.
It's absolutely epic.
It's like dancing with your sister, don't they say?
But you're right, a draw doesn't happen often, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Thanks, Abs. It's fine.
I've made the call.
Okay.
There you go.
Good
It's going to
stuff.
stay in place. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Abby. Unless it's a grand final, of course. And then we'll play extra time.
Yeah.
10 past 6, top of 19 degrees across Adelaide today. It's 6:15 vending machine. And can I just say, the vending machine at the wedding on Wednesday night?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
What a legend.
Oh, I can't believe it's showing its face this morning, to be honest.
Joe, do you know I'm all about research for this show, just constantly grinding away. How can I better the show? What sort of bullet points can I provide the audience to make sure that they head in a beautiful path of knowledge?
Yeah.
Let's talk about a little study that I found.
Yep.
And the headline is Aussies in a sex recession. Yeah, that's right, you bunch of dirty birds. There's 2 points that I found from this particular study, which somehow floated across my desk. 2 points which tick off, I'd say, both categories, and that is the youngsters as well as the older people who are in established relationships.
Okay.
So it makes sense, doesn't it?
It does.
There's 2 alarming points. First one is that Australia is the second most promiscuous nation on earth.
Ooh.
So this was a survey done with Aussies between 25 and 44. It found that we had an average of 13.3 sexual partners in our lifetimes, and that we're second only to Turkey.
Wow.
Oh, the dirty Turks, eh? Good on them. So the youngsters are finding more partners.
Okay.
But then it gets quite interesting when you talk to the older people in relationships.
Does 13 seem quite low? 13.
Oh, here we
Is
go.
it? No.
A lot of eyebrows were raised just then in the studio.
Well, I don't know.
All pointed directly to Jodie.
I thought it might be more than that.
Well, I'd say the 0.3 is the strange one.
Yeah. How do you
The 0.3 of a partner.
how do you have relations with 0.3 of a person?
Yeah, it's a very good point. It's a very, very good point.
I hope it's the lower half.
Yeah, exactly right. You do on the top half. In 2003, and this is a little bit concerning for people like us,
Yeah.
a study of 20,000 Australians in heterosexual relationships found that they had intercourse 1.8 times a week on average. When the same study was conducted 10 years later, the number was down to 1.4.
Right, again with the decimals. What?
So we're going down. So you'd rather 0.8 of a person than 0.4, wouldn't you? But it's going down per week.
Yeah, right.
And I'd say back in the day, 1.8. Oh, righto, stallion. Calm down. Who's got the time to do that? In all, they're saying that this is all happening because people are on their phones too much.
Oh,
And
really?
their phones are consuming too much emotion.
Yeah.
And you're distracted.
I get very annoyed when we wake up in the morning, my husband reaches for his phone before he reaches over and gives me a cuddle,
that's
special
fair.
or otherwise.
I do that as well.
Yeah.
I don't think my wife does it, but that's the first thing I do when I wake up. Bang, look at the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if you are going to be forthcoming with this story, but I'm going to have a crack at it anyway. I called you the other day, right, and we were mid-conversation where you abruptly went, "I got to go," and you effectively hung up in my ear, right? And
Oh,
then,
my God.
And then you called back. Called back probably 6 minutes later. and you had to explain why you hung up on me so quickly. Do you want to
Yes.
tell everybody, please?
Thank you very much as well. 6 minutes, very, very generous, I might add. How do I say this without getting in trouble? I said to you, sorry that I had to leave, but my beautiful wife, Cara, was having a shower.
Yes.
And at the time, I was kind of joking, asked her if I could join her.
Yeah.
And she said yes.
Bang!
I had to
Hangs
quickly
up.
jump off the phone. I was adding to that statistic. I was 0.4.
Let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, Battle of the Bangers.
Yeah, this is how it rolls. Two fierce musical warriors going head to head, bringing songs to the table that are themed. And this week is wedding dance floor bangers.
Yeah, and it's a strange setup this week because usually, obviously, we do it on a Thursday and we just sort of sit on it for a good 24 hours before we compile all the votes together and announce a winning song at 8 o'clock. But obviously, this morning, we're doing it all in one hit.
Yeah.
So we're going to announce the songs right now, and then you've got about 40-odd minutes to cast your vote via Jodie and Haysey on Instagram, and then we'll announce the winner. Do you want to go first?
Well, you know how you've just been talking about how you've had a mare with songs? I, for the life of me, can't remember what I chose because it was
my
2 days ago.
This is a passion piece. This is supposed to be a passion piece.
It is, and I love
now
it.
she doesn't even know what song
Oh,
she chose.
No, I love it. I just can't remember what I chose. It was more than 24 hours
You
ago,
know
right?
that you'd sent a text to both Zoe and I, so really you probably could have just scrolled back through and saved yourself this embarrassment.
Oh, I've got it. It's Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Okay, great. So this is the song that comes on when you're dancing up a storm at a wedding, which just takes you to the next level, is it?
Yeah.
So what happens?
Well, you haven't even got to the best bit. The best bit is when it builds up and it goes, all into the
Oh, yeah, that is a good bit, actually.
come on. If you sit in your chair while this song's on at a wedding, you're a corpse.
Yeah, that's true. And I've said this for a long time. We don't play enough music by the Midnight Runners on this station.
Dexy's Midnight Runners.
We really need to
What was
up
their
it up
other
a
big
little.
hit?
That's a great question that no one knows nor cares about.
Weren't they just a one-hit wonder?
Yeah.
That's pretty safe to say, I think.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
Come On Eileen versus, just imagine yourself in the guts of the dance floor. This song comes on, you're like, should I take my shirt off? Yeah. You know what? Bugger it. Yeah, I'm going to take it off.
So was this song on repeat on Wednesday night, was it for you, Andrew Hayes?
This must have been the trigger.
Oh, my God.
Because I absolutely pulled the trigger at one particular night at the part of the evening.
Yeah.
When this song comes on at a wedding, everyone belts this as loud as they possibly can.
I'm a little over it.
You know this is a good song.
No. I'm not going to concede that. Not at all.
All right, Come On Eileen versus The Horses. Which song connects with you better at a wedding? It takes you to that next level of bliss.
Good battle. It's a good battle this week.
It's a good battle this morning. All right, winning song will be announced at 8 o'clock. Currently, it is 8-4 in favour of me.
No, so jump
boy,
on
oh boy, you need this.
Jump on the Instagram, please, and vote for the good guys.
The good guys. I'll say it once again. Jodie didn't even know what her song was before. I'm not sure that your heart's in this. I'll just say that much.
No, it is. I promise.
Get voting at Jodie and Haysey. Kanye West is as mad, maybe madder than a cut snake. Does that feel like a reasonable statement, Jones?
Oh, absolutely, 100% accurate.
My gosh, very unpredictable is Ye. He's gone from I'm going to be president of the United States to I'm going to make porn.
What?
That's the latest instalment.
What?
In Kanye West and that beautiful brain of his. So he dropped a brief but graphic announcement on his social media accounts a couple of days ago. A short little video saying, Yeezy porn is coming. Yay! It's what the fans wanted.
God.
A report in TMZ hours before the announcement dropped the claim that Wes had been kicking around the idea of launching his own pornography studio and brand for a while, and now he seems dead set on doing it.
My God. What he parades his wife around in is just absolutely extraordinary. Did you see she went to Disneyland the other day?
Yeah.
And she was literally just wearing a sheet of fabric over the front of her and then a G-string at the back. And I was just like, oh, my God, that can't be comfortable. I was forced to go to Wet n Wild last week in a two-piece bikini, and that didn't bode well on the Aqua Racer, did it?
Didn't hold well.
It didn't hold well.
Yeah, right. Funny you should say that. It's not yet known if Kanye or Bianca Censori will star in any of his movies.
Yes.
Or he'll just be sort of kicking back in the background, just directing because, you know, I'm sure Yeezy knows exactly what he's doing in this particular department. What happened to him just being, you know, the wholesome Kanye where he wanted to be president?
Yeah, I know. It's very odd, isn't it?
And what next for the great man?
I don't know. He's come out and he said that he came out and he said, I like my wife undressed. Do you? Well, at home, I think at home that's okay, but not at Disney World.
It sounds like...
Small children. Think of the children.
Think of the children. A lot of people wrote that on social media as well. His kids are going to look back one day and be like, Dad, why did you sort of delve off into the pornography world? And also as well... after 8 o'clock, we're going to talk about some awkward social situations.
Yes.
And how hard it is to sometimes just be cool and fluent the whole time.
Or normal.
What about when, if it's your first sort of time, you're not used to that space and you're directing pornography?
Yeah.
And you're like, I just shouldn't be watching this, but it's part of my job.
I can't-
Where do I put my hands? Where do I put my eyeballs? What's going on here?
I can't even watch that scene in Love Actually where they're pretending to make porn.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I think I know the bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God, it's embarrassing.
But that's Kanye for you.
Yeah.
So he's gone from president to porn director to Port Adelaide? Probably not to Port Adelaide, but it starts with a P, so that sort of made sense.
Let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, Battle of the Bangers.
This is how it works. 2 songs selected via a theme, and that theme this week is wedding dance floor bangers. We went in different directions. You went in the predictable horses route.
Oh, come on. Why is that predictable? It's an absolute classic. Oh, there goes the jacket. Oh, is he wearing his tie on his head? You're so crazy.
And then I went down a vastly different path with Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Of course. Yeah, to be honest with you, it's a great song. It is a really, really nice song. So does this make you dance more, or does it make you just want to sing it really loudly?
Yeah, and then you do that thing where it goes, come on, I need
you
to
build
do it.
up.
And it builds up, but you
Yep.
start right close to the ground
Yep.
and then gradually come up.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Understand it.
All right, it was very tight about half an hour ago.
It's still tight. It's a tight result. It's been quite the battle this morning for the absolute wedding dance floor banger.
All right.
But it's only one winner.
Would you like a drum roll?
I would
Zoe?
obviously like a drum roll,
Of
please.
course, here it is.
It's Haysey with horses. For the record, I voted for you, Jodes.
Oh, hey, you got Zoe's vote. Is that something?
Yeah. I mean, it amounted to nothing.
Oh.
That's okay.
you know what?
9-4. 9-4.
9-4.
9-4. Sorry, it's actually 10. No, you're 9-4. We'll take that. All right, here it is. Dara Braithwaite, horses. Take your shirt off immediately, please.
No, don't.
This might be my favourite time of the week, though, right now.
Yeah, I like it. So for the uninitiated, if you're just joining our show for the first time, I like to diarise my thoughts. I find it cathartic. I find it healthy. I find it soothing almost.
Okay.
So here is a little record of the short week that was.
Jodie's Diary.
Dear Diary, it was the perfect start to a Monday when Haysey's 6-year-old Henry said what everyone's thinking.
Go this, but my 6-year-old called me an effing D-head the other day. Do you think that was confronting?
Well, I think truth is the defence on this one. And if you agree with Lottie, why don't you give us a holler?
Have you got any stories? Give us a holler. 13 24 10, please. We'll take your calls next.
Haysey's also taken to eating apples in the studio. By Tuesday, we learnt that Andrew wanted to be in a boy band. You've just revealed that as a small child on the farm, you wanted to be a member of East 17.
There's some good tunes. House of Love. Oh, yeah.
Get it?
Anyway, how do I say this without it sounding traumatic? Dad aggressively steered me in a different direction of wanting to be a pop star. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our boy Dan Houston joined in the conversation and we learnt he too had boyhood dreams, which was most unfortunate for his cat.
I guess for me, I always did want to be a sports player in some aspect, and used to absolutely love cricket. And one of my favourite players was Andrew Simons. And my girlfriend Steph was talking to Mum, and Mum's like, "Oh, can I tell you a story about Dan when he was growing up? He used to have this cat called Gardy, and used to put zinc on him to make him like Andrew Simons. So that's what I wanted to be, something like Andrew Simons. But if it wasn't me, I was going to make it my cat.
Yeah.
And now I play footy, and the cat's no longer here.
There was no way in the world that we could have predicted that you were going to talk about putting zinc on your cat.
No. We discovered I went to the first ever Olympics.
Drugs, I think, is the message.
What Olympics it was, because obviously I've lived through so many of them. But there
What was Rome like, by the way?
the first one. Amazing.
The first was in 1908.
I wore my loincloth. Actually, they were in Athens, sweetie. Also this week, Megan Trainor called her kid the most bogan name on the planet. Barry Bruce. Barry Bruce was definitely not a part of the Ain family.
What about the Ain family? We're talking Kane, Shane, Dwayne, Blaine, all the Ains.
As Haysey had another Granny Smith. By Wednesday, Abby had a new nickname. Abby from the newsroom, who will now from this day forth be known as
Abby Dabby Doo.
And there were some ballsy sheep on the freeway. And you're also waking up to the news that there's some sheep on the loose up in the hills, isn't there, Abs?
Up at Harndorf, just a few little sheepy on the freeway.
On the freeway?
The poor things.
How did they manage to stumble onto the freeway?
Yeah, I don't know. No details yet, but there's 5 who've been, maybe they're coming into the city for Live Golf. Yeah. They want to go see Tommy Wren at the Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Yes, let's hope that they don't come face to face with the semi-trailer truck.
Oh, that was a bit morbid.
Sheep v truck.
Jeepers.
I tell you what, sheep v truck wins every time.
And it wouldn't be a normal week without a Tassie joke after I revealed I like to force my kids to be friends with other kids on holidays. Are you an adult who's still friends with the kid that you met on holidays?
Oh my God.
2410.
Yay, hashtag Tassie things.
So to Abby Dabby Doo.
Abby Dabby Doo.
Apple enthusiasts everywhere. And the Ain family.
Kane, Shane, Dwayne, Blaine, all the Ains.
Go off this weekend, kings and queens. All my love, Jodie.